Good evening and welcome to the Sultanate of Oman television with English news. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cabal of condolences to His Excellency the President of Iraq on the victims of Ibn al-Khatib hospital fire in Baghdad. The Shura Council reviews aspects of investments, vision and future plans to achieve food and water security while hosting His Excellency the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources. The Minister of Health announces 35 COVID-19 fatalities and 3,538 new cases in the last 3 days. And the University of Technology and Applied Sciences signs an agreement with the Ministry of Labour to qualify its cadres holders of bachelor degrees. Thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cabal of condolences to His Excellency Dr. Barhoum Saleh, President of Iraq, on the victims of Ibn al-Khatib hospital fire in Baghdad. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cabal of greetings to Her Excellency President Samia Hassan of the Republic of Tanzania on her country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan also sends a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President Patrice Talon of the Republic of Benin on him being re-elected as the President for a new presidential term. During the 10th session of the Shura Council today, the members discussed the statement of the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, which indicated a rapid growth in agriculture and fisheries products based on the revealed figures. More details in the following report.
Promising figures have been revealed today in the session of Shura Council during the statement of His Excellency Dr. Saud bin Hamoud Al-Habsi, the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources. One good indicator was the increase of the overall food products from agricultural, fisheries and animal resources from 1.7 million tons in 2011 to almost 4 million tons in the year 2019, reaching about 11% of the average growth. The overall income of food products reached 930 million Omani riyals, reaching an average growth of 9.6% in 2019.
Many topics were discussed. Among them is the food securities and the role of the ministry in enhancing the food security in the country. Also, we discussed the contribution of these sectors in the country GDP and how it will accelerate the contribution of these sectors. Also, among the topics that have been discussed is the food safety and the products that is produced by farmers and agricultures and fisheries.
The statement shed light on food security and the investment plan, as well as the ministry's efforts to increase research on self-sufficiency and the law of food safety. The Shura members also discussed the other dimensions of fisheries sector and water security in the Sultanate, including building dams and increasing water resources.
Among the topics that has been discussed is the role of the ministry to manage the water resources in the country, and also its plan for water resources related projects implementation in different regions in the country.
Another issue was on the marketing strategies of agricultural products to increase farmers' income and enable this essential sector to contribute in the national economy. Well, the vocal points of today's session in the Shura Council were the importance of food sufficiency and the water security in the Sultanate. Most of the members demanded the ministry to increase their strategies on this issue. Saif Al-Kindi for English News, Muscat.
Saif Al-Kindi there, thank you very much. The Minister of Health announced 85 COVID-19 deaths, 3,538 new cases and 3,719 recoveries in the last 3 days in the south, and the worldwide COVID-19 fatalities reached more than 3 million as the number of cases exceeded 144 million. The health institutions are also struggling to control the situation along with their medical cadres. On the other hand, the nationalization of vaccines is making the situation worse in a number of world countries, especially after the spread of new strains of COVID-19. An expanded campaign to receive COVID-19 vaccines is organized in various wilayas of the Governorate of Dhofar. The initial stage of the campaign will target those within the age category of 60 and above, as well as patients suffering from asthma, kidney diseases, and those working in the health sector. The number of COVID-19 cases in the Governorate of Dhofar reached 180 in the period from 24th of March until 22nd of April 2021, which makes the total number of cases 12,183, including 205 deaths. In Sultan Qaboos Hospital in Salalah, there are 43 patients in intensive care unit. As of 22nd of April 2021, the number of those vaccinated in the Governorate of Dhofar reached 12,467. Meanwhile, the bodies concerned call on the targeted groups to take the vaccination as soon as possible, while advising the members of the community to keep following the precautionary measures. Ramadan night lockdown in the Sultanate is well observed, but people last minute shopping is a matter of great concern as it tends to cause overcrowding. More details coming up in this report. Ramadan night lockdown is well observed in the Sultanate, but people last minute shopping is being noticed in many of the shops. This practice needs to be reconsidered and discouraged as the situation causes overcrowding and result in a potential spread of the disease.
As we all know, the numbers of COVID-19 cases in Oman are rising at a phenomenal rate. I would advise, being in the medical field, all citizens and residents of Oman to maintain social distancing, regular and frequent washing of hands, avoid social gathering, and continue to wear your masks. It's very important, if you're able to also get the vaccine as soon as possible. I urge all of you, as a doctor, to try and get that done for your own safety.
Many shops are operating at 50% customer capacity, but when many carry out their shopping at the same time, it tends to cause rush that need to be avoided.
My dear family, citizens and residents of Oman, the corona cases are getting higher. To stay safe, we have to keep washing our hands and social distancing. If water is not available, we have to sanitize. Keep wearing our masks to stay healthy.
The sharp rise in coronavirus cases in the country has led to these restrictions throughout the month of Ramadan, where no Taraweeh prayers in the mosques. People need to cooperate to prevent transmission of coronavirus. The Sultanate and Saudi Arabia discussed increasing commercial exchange between both countries, including investment opportunities and exchanging expertise. This came during the meeting through a video call of His Excellency Qais bin Mohammed Al Yusuf, Minister of Commerce and Industry and Investments Promotions, with His Excellency Dr. Majid bin Abdullah Al Qassabi, Saudi Minister of Commerce. During the meeting, both sides also reviewed the experiences in the electronic commerce field and mechanisms of controlling e-commercial business. It further focused on preparation of a meeting among business owners from both countries in the upcoming period. The Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Social Insurance discussed the situation of the insured people and the employers in the private sector and the proposed treatments to cover some categories of the Omani cadres working in the sector. The board reviewed the investment opportunities and some instructions projects which were implemented during last period. His Excellency Dr. Mahad bin Saeed Ba'wain, Minister of Labour, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Social Insurance, chaired the meeting. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Labour signed a cooperation agreement with the University of Technology and Applied Sciences to enhance and recruit the national cadres of bachelor degree holders, join them on job training program and replace 300 opportunity for Omani. The agreement came to qualify the nominated Omani cadres who have graduated from the university degree in line with the requirement of the University of Technology and Applied Sciences by supervising their training at the companies contracting with the university according to the specified and agreed upon schedule. You are with the Sultanate of Oman television, and later to come in our news bulletin, a rescue mission to save a group of giraffes from a sinking island in Kenya has now been completed. The last female Rothschild's giraffe from the group was moved from Longicharo Island.
COVID-19 everyday precautions. Follow these easy steps to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. If you sneeze or cough, cover your nose and mouth with a tissue or use your elbow. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Clean and disinfect surfaces around your home and work frequently. Keep a distance between yourself and others if you must be in public. Wear a cloth face covering over your mouth and nose when around others. Carry a small bottle of hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Getting vaccinated is one of the many steps you can take to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Protection from COVID-19 is critically important because for some people, COVID-19 can cause severe illness or death. Vaccines work with your immune system, so your body will be ready to fight the virus if you are exposed. After you've been fully vaccinated against COVID-19, you should keep taking precautions in public places or when you are with unvaccinated people. Getting vaccinated against COVID-19 and following everyday precautions to protect yourselves and others will offer the best protection from COVID-19. Get vaccinated against COVID-19 to protect yourself and others.
Once again, welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Authorities in India extended today the lockdown in the capital New Delhi for another week following the devastating new surge of infections. For the fourth straight day, India today set a global daily record of new infections spurred by an insidious new variant that emerged there, undermining the government's premature claims of victory over the pandemic. Health officials are scrambling to expand critical care units and stock up on dwindling supplies of oxygen. Hospitals and patients alike are struggling to procure scarce medical equipment that is being sold at an exponential markup. The 349,691 confirmed cases over the past day brought India's total to more than 16.9 million, behind only the United States. The Health Ministry reported another 2,767 deaths in the past 24 hours, pushing India's COVID-19 fatalities to 192,311. The capital has been under lockdown since Monday. And now to Iraq. Iraq's Interior Ministry said today that 82 people died and 110 were injured in a catastrophic fire that broke out in the intensive care unit of a Baghdad hospital tending to severe coronavirus patients. Negligence on the part of hospital authorities has been blamed for the last night fire, which initial reports suggest was caused when an oxygen cylinder exploded in the ward of Ibn al-Khatib Hospital. Iraq's Prime Minister fired key hospital officials hours after the catastrophic incidents. Among the dead were at least 28 patients on ventilators battling severe symptoms of the virus. Firefighters rushed to battle the flames that raged across the second floor of the hospital. The Health Ministry said at least 200 people were rescued from the scene. Doctors at the scene were frazzled by the chaos unfolding around them. The fire came as Iraq grapples with the severe second wave of the coronavirus pandemic. And now the United Nations story. The United Nations Special Envoy for Yemen, Martin Griffiths, met with Egypt's Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry in Cairo today. Griffiths, whose visit to the country was expected to last several days, is expected to meet with senior Egyptian officials and members of the Arab League to discuss developments to solve the Yemeni crisis. In mid-April, Griffiths appealed to the warring parties to implement a nationwide ceasefire and agree on a date for peace talks in line with the plan to end the ongoing conflict. And now to Kenya. Longichara Island in Kenya's Rift Valley, a rescue mission is underway. The island is sinking due to rising water levels, making survival for the group of giraffes that once lived there impossible. The giraffes, originally from the mainland, were transported to Longichara Island 10 years ago as part of the conservation project to expand the species into a wider area. Today, the last of a group of 9 Rothschild's giraffes stranded on the island is being moved to safety. She will join the others in a new home at the Ruko Community Conservancy in Baringo on the mainland. In 2016, giraffes were added to the IUCN Red List of Endangered Species and classed as vulnerable. Kenya currently has a population of around 800 Rothschild's giraffes, whose existence is mainly threatened by loss of habitat, predation and poaching. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and to conclude this news bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cabal of condolences to His Excellency the President of Iraq on the victims of Ibn al-Khatib Hospital fire in Baghdad. The Shura Council reviews aspects of investments vision and future plans to achieve food and water security while hosting His Excellency the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources. The Ministry of Health announces 35 COVID-19 fatalities and 3,538 new cases in the last 3 days. And the University of Technology and Applied Sciences signs an agreement with the Ministry of Labour to qualify its cadres holders of bachelor degrees. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. Once again, we would like to remind you to keep following the precautionary measures of wearing face masks, washing your hands and keeping physical distance from each other. Stay safe and healthy. And from all of us here, good night.